We know that children are building themselves, always self-constructing, and our job is to support that self-construction. And part of the way we do that is through preparing an environment and connecting the children to the environment. So our job is to make sure that we are giving lessons so children have these things in the environment that they can do to build themselves. So observation is a key in this. We need to be observing what the children are showing us. What do they need? What do I have in the environment that can respond to that? Practically speaking, we do have to take a role in maintaining the environment, the physical environment, and the psychological environment. So we'll have the children help us in that, and there are systems we'll talk about to help the children develop responsibility for the maintenance of the physical environment. But ultimately, we're the adults. So we have to take the final, responsibility for it. We should wander through our classroom on a daily basis and see what's missing, what needs to be repaired, does something need to be replenished? That's part of our job. Yes, we want the children to take responsibility for that, but we also have to support that to be sure our environment is prepared and beautiful. Also, as we're helping the children to manage and maintain the environment, we need to model for them how to do that. So that means when they're doing cleaning in the classroom, so are we. Or periodically you may clean just during a work cycle so the children see that that's part of how we maintain the classroom. This is an important part of the culture of how we establish ownership and responsibility for the classroom. Our job is to support self-construction. That means that we need to really prepare this environment. We need to know what we have to offer children at every stage of their self-construction. We have to be well trained to do that. We have to understand the children. We have to have all the lessons ready that we could offer to them. Montessori tells us in psychogeometry about how we don't work with the interior of the child's mind. We're working with sort of what she called the periphery. And that's where the prepared environment can really connect. The children will do the learning themselves, but we can connect them to something that supports them. We can work with that periphery. And that really requires us to be a different kind of adult in the prepared environment. Montessori talked about us being servants. And that means there are certain emotions and other qualities that we have to really work on in ourselves. And Montessori saw two of the most dangerous to children to be anger and pride. Anger has no place in the life of children. Now, I'm not saying you won't ever feel anger toward the children. It happens to the best of us. But it's how we respond to that emotion. Children should not feel anger from us. They just shouldn't. It's damaging and it doesn't create the psychological environment we're working for. So if we have anger issues, it's something we have to work on. We have to get the help we need to support us in managing that anger in an appropriate way. And the same is true for pride or our own ego. We should never feel like we know more than the child and that we know better. Certainly, we have a lot more experience. Certainly, children can benefit from that. But we have to, at its heart, really trust children and not consider ourselves as above them in any way. They're our social equal. They're in this massive state of creation, and I'm lucky enough to be able to support that. So our ego and our anger have to be left at the door. And if we're having trouble with either of those, it's our responsibility as adults to get help with that. So that when we enter our classroom and we work to maintain the physical and psychological environment, we're doing that with a mindset and a connection to the children that isn't marred by anger or pride or any other negative emotion that could impact children's development. This is part of our work. We can do all the preparation of ourselves with lessons and passing training and all of that, but there's an internal preparation we have to do in ourselves to be able to serve the children in the prepared environment in the way that we need to. And that's something that we have to really do a lot of, thinking about and maintenance of in our work with children.